So if you click on today's video, the question at the top of your mind is, should you buy a house or should you build your house? Where do you go in terms of making your decision? But I want to take you through my story in terms of both building and buying, and then at the end of it, you can make the judgment for yourself to which one is ideal. If you're going to be buying your house, there are obviously some upfront benefits. The first of which is to get to move in much faster. You get to enjoy the house a lot quicker. You don't have to worry about the overhead and some of the stresses that come with actual building. So you get something ready done if you're buying instead of building. So for me, I think that's one of the main advantage of buying a home up front. On the other hand, if you're building a house, there are some advantages too. So I get questions in the comment section, persons asking, were you trained that hard in terms of learning how to build? And the answer to that is no. I am not formally trained in construction. How did I get involved in it? How did I build the confidence to know, listen, I know exactly what the workmen talking about. I know exactly what needs to be done. So the first thing is that a friend of mine, a colleague of mine from work several years ago, she would always talk about, the fact that she has built her house, and she always sounded so proud, the fact that she put in all this work and her house is exactly to specifications in terms of what she wanted. I sat her down one day and I said, Nads, can you share with me how you went about building your house? Like, what did it involve? How were you able to afford it? And she told me her story. And from that, I was like, you know what? I think that I could do it too. At the time, I had a house, not this house, a different house, and I wanted to expand to go on a second floor. So I started to save up some money and I got my money together and I, engaged someone to talk about, what would it cost to do the build. Now, my friend told me that, listen, she was her own contractor, and that sent off something in my mind that, wow, she was her own contractor. She didn't pay anybody to do this process for her. So I started to, talk with her more to just get an understanding of what I need to do. So I started my project, and every phase of the project I would sit with her and say, Nadine, they're doing this now, they're laying the steel. What come next? What should I expect? What am I looking for? X, Y, Z. And she was so kind, and she really helped me through that process and guided me through that process, and I was able to do the build. That build took me, I believe, 2 years, simply because of affordability. So I was able to block up, put on my roof, dress the wall, but I had to take a pause now with the finishing, the painting, the tiling, the bathroom fixtures, and I would have done that in the following year. What I learned from that experience was that it was rewarding building your own space, because you got things to the specification. I got things to the specification that I wanted. And that's a benefit with building your own home. Are you building your own dream? Or in the case of buying a house from somebody, are you buying their dream, right? So when you buy a house ready done, whether from a developer or someone who is selling their house, you're really buying their dream. One of the drawbacks of building, it comes with up and down stress, dealing with the workman, understanding what's happening, ensuring that they're not giving you a 6 for a 9. You must learn to speak the language. And why I say this, you need to be able to understand what the workmen, the mason, these professionals, the tiler, what they're saying to you must make sense. Are they charging you for something that is reasonable for them to charge you for? Get someone who knows and understands the process so that you can ask, so that you can verify. Somebody who have gone through the process and say, hey, by the way, the workman or the contractor tell me, say, I have to do this. This makes sense? Is this what is supposed to happen in the next step? Because let me just be frank, I've seen people being taken advantage of by persons in construction. I'm going to give you a quick story. I had a neighbor and she was working on her property, and I would see persons who came there to work. So she went to work every day and she left them there to do some final finishes, like the house was almost done. And I realized these people will literally lay down on her veranda and sleep the whole day. And when they thought it was time, like they say, okay, all right, it's like 4 o'clock, she soon come back. They would start, mixing liquor matter here and there and trying to do stuff. But because she didn't understand the process and she didn't know what it takes, and she had a professional contractor, guys. She had a professional contractor. She wasn't her own contractor. They took advantage of that because she didn't have the knowledge. And that's one of the reasons too, like why I do some of these videos, why I share what you should expect in the process, because I know that if you don't understand what is expected, there are persons out there that will take advantage of your lack of knowledge because you just don't know, right? So ask. If you don't feel comfortable asking me in the comment section, ask other people who you know have been through construction. And honestly, if I don't know the answer, I will try and get it from someone who I know knows the answer, and I'll share it, because I am not in construction again, but I do understand the process. This is like the 3rd construction project that I've done for myself. I know when they're telling me things that doesn't make sense, from the electrician to the plumber to the mason. While I don't do it myself, I understand what is needed and when each of them should be a part of the process. Another thing I would say with building your own home is that you need to be present. You need to be able to monitor your work, monitor what's going on, monitor how your money is being spent. I've always lived where I'm building because I want to see what's going on. I want to know what I paid for that day. So I will come home and go and check on the work and say, okay, what was done today, and look at it. Is this reasonable based on what I expected, and so on. But again, there's the downside, the constant noise, the knocking, all of that. Those are some downside, but everybody has their own journey and their own concept of what their dream house is. And if your dream house is a 1-bedroom, living room, kitchen, dining, it's a studio, it's an apartment, or it's a mansion, it's a scheme house, it's the cabin, good for you. Whatever it is that your dream is, good for you. Go for it. Stay with the process. You can do it. Home ownership is one of the most important things I believe in life, because it is such a crucial part of creating generation wealth. But that's for another discussion, and I really appreciate all the support you're giving me. So guys, there's so much more I could really say about building or buying, so I'll be making a part 2 of this video. So let me know in the comments, are you a fan of building, buying, or both?